the glory days of the Orlando Magic, and now we're joined by two of the founding fathers of that team that made it happen. Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Jared Greenberg with you. I had nothing to do with that, so I'll step away from you guys a little bit. Happy belated birthday,
Thank you,
fella.
appreciate it.
How was your birthday?
It was nice and long. I was in China with friends. Ni hao. Was over there, but I'm back now. Glad to be home. 40 years old.
Well, see, I was going to say 30, but just trying to be nice.
In spirit.
So later, Shaq will be on TNT with the pregame show getting you set for the Bulls and the Magic. Before we dive into the Magic of today, let's talk about what you two did in the 90s in Orlando in terms of that inside-outside game and how Penny, as a point guard, complemented you in the post.
Well, I knew coming in that I wanted to be a power center. So when I first met Penny Hardaway, I was running the floor. We was doing a lot of silly stuff. But when Penny came to play with me, he wouldn't let me post outside the lane. So after I got the rebound, I would run, and I would have to run to the middle of the floor and stop and make other teams say, oh, 3 seconds this, 3 seconds that. And then if they push me out, then I would get right here. I'd still be in position.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq did that better than anybody. He was so good at running the middle of the floor, and I would always throw it to him in the middle of the floor, and there was no way. I mean, we get how many points a game? 10, 12, 15 points a game on him just running the floor and just posting up in the middle of the floor, just throwing it ahead. And if he did get pushed off, I would bring the ball outside and let him post, and he had a shorter post. He was not coming down, being pushed off the block like most teams. They try to get you and ride you high and ride you off the lane. We just had Shaq running right down the middle. He was the best that I've ever seen at doing that.
And what's interesting is when you get doubled and have nowhere to go with the ball and you kick it back out, you're not done.
No, I'm not done, but, you know, a lot of times I had to mix it up because even though they wanted me to average 28, I still had to play together with them to also let them flourish. Now, what running down the middle of the floor does, it draws the defense in. Now, if you have a three-point shooting team, when you have guys coming to you, then Penny will kick it to D. Scott for the 3, Nick Anderson for the 3, so. So if I got pushed out here and I didn't like my move, then I come like I was going to shoot a jump hook, draw the defense in, kick it back to Penny for the shot, he kick it to D. So when you run to the middle of the floor, it's helping your teammates out.
You talked about it a lot on TNT last Thursday. Dwight doesn't get that double team all the time. So how does that impact how Orlando plays today?
To me, Dwight is more of a pick and roll player. He has some post moves. You know, he's working on post moves, but he comes off the pick and roll a lot, and the defense shifts, and he gets the ball, and he gets his easy buckets like that. That's fine, but Dwight has to learn how to use his people more too. So he could come in with the running jump hook like he's doing, but again, if the double come, kick it to Ryan Anderson, kick it to Jason Richardson. I said earlier that he needs to average 28-15 to fight for a championship, and I will stand by that.
And the fact that they lead the league not only in three-pointers made per game and three-pointers attempted per game, as a big man who thrives in the post, he's an all-star big man year in and year out. How should that be viewed from his standpoint that his team is taking so many threes a game?
It could be viewed as a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I used to love getting double, kicking out to Penny and D. Scott. I loved it, but, you know, they also understood, and they also made me thrive on being an inside guy. You know, they knew and understand that it's an inside-outside game first. But, you know, if you're getting double and you're kicking out to the guys and they're shooting threes and they make them, fine. But you can't come down and just shoot threes before the ball goes inside.
And I'll add to that, you know, the one thing that we did so well was when Shaq threw it out to us, we would repost him, because that's where our bread is buttered. We knew that he was going to get us a basket, and nobody in the world was going to play him one-on-one. So once we threw it in on a repost, he would have an easy layup, and if they came in double, he'd throw it right back out. He was very unselfish, one of the best big man passers in the game that didn't get enough credit for that because he did draw people to get us shots.
What's the biggest thing that has to change with the Magic?
In order for them to be a championship-minded team, Dwight has to average 28-15.
Yeah, he has
That's
to be
fair.
monster numbers.
He has to average 28-15, but he also has to do that and help his other guys flourish. Like, you know, like a couple of times he had, you know, he was scoring big, so he should come in. You know, you already got your 10, 15 points in the quarter. Draw the defense in, see what my main man Ryan Anderson is doing. Or draw the defense in, Jameer Nelson cut, get him an easy basket, because if I'm averaging 28 and Penny's getting 25 and D. Scott's getting 20 and Nick's getting 15 to 17, we're an unstoppable team. So in order for them to be a championship-minded team, Dwight has to average 28-15. He has to be dominant, because right now he's just a good center. And I made this statement a couple weeks ago. No good center has won a championship. You have to be great or you have to be dominant. They don't really have the second player for a 1-2 punch, but if you go back to the team that beat us, they didn't have that second player either. They had one great player in Akeem Olajuwon, and he had 4 other great role players. So they got some good role players, but he has to make them, raise their game.
Kenny's going to be upset later that he didn't call him one of the great.
No, Kenny is a role player. I'll say it to his face.